and welcome to this week's Fibro section. Jazz hands. Right, so this week I am looking at how to cope with a lack of support. So this is, you know, more for fibromyalgia than anything else. And of course we have the trusted notepad. So I have researched this and I have also added in what I have done and what I have found, so hope that you find it helpful. If you like my videos, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, which is always nice to have you on board with the Lord and Lordettes, and ring the little bell so you can be notified every time I upload. Now we'll get on with it. Oh, and also, nearly forgot, follow me on my social media if you've got any. If you go on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, I'll put all my handles up for you and you can come and say hello over there. And that's important for something that I'm going to say for later on as well. So, how to cope with a lack of support. So chronic pain is challenging for the person suffering and friends and family. This is even more so when fibro is invisible, so people cannot see your illness. It's the invisible illness. It can be hurtful to have someone question your pain or resent you because you can't do what you used to be able to do. And even supportive friends may want to tune out if they are often hearing about your pain. And not a lot of us do, I will say. The majority of people that I speak to say when they're asked, how are you? The answer is always, I'm fine. Because you can't be bothered to go into detail, or you don't want to sound like a stuck record. So that is the obvious answer, I'm fine. So that one, when I researched that, I thought, I'm not quite sure about that comment, because if you are going on and on about your pain all the time, then obviously that person, it is going to affect them after a while. The person I talk to most about my pain is Mark, my husband, because he wants to hear about it. Well, he says he wants to hear about it. A lot of the time I say something and they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, and I always say it must be really hard to live with someone that has a chronic illness, because all it must feel like I'm doing is moaning to you. But he says, no, not at all. I want to hear what your pain is. I want to hear, you know, because he is the only person that I really vent to the most. And, you know, he doesn't mind, you know. So I think sometimes if I think he's bored of hearing it, then I don't tell him every little thing anyway. I just tell him sometimes if like my ankle's gone, or if something's happened during the day, I might text him, or he'll ask how it's been, you know. I don't keep going into detail about every single little pain. If you find you want someone to vent to and you haven't got a partner like I have with Mark that wants to know, then support groups are really, really good. Online, just be careful with some of them, because they can be a bit negative and they can bring you down. I have found that some on Twitter can be a bit negative, so I tend to just scroll past them. But don't forget, like, I have my Facebook page of Lord and Lordettes that I've just put up for you on the screen, and I always link it in the description. And you can always post on there if there's something that you're finding. Like, you can say, has anybody had this? Has anybody found this? Has anyone got any ideas what I can do for this? And then people can reply. So you can always use that as, you know, a social way of communicating. I've also found some other online support, and I'm going to link it all in the description for you. There was one that I've just joined myself called Inspire, The only thing that I was a bit concerned about was it linked me through Facebook, and then it's had a username for me itself, which was just my name, which was fine, but then it had a password, and I thought, I haven't made a password. So I requested to change my password through my email. Now I'm not sure if that means my Facebook password has changed as well. I'll soon find out, but because I linked it through Facebook, so it might have been that it was my Facebook password. I'm not very good with technology. I learn as I go, but I thought, oh, I'm not sure about that. And then you just put a profile page, you can select your privacy, and it's basically a chat. You can start a chat on there, and then people will reply to you. Just like I say, just be careful. If there's any negativity, leave it. Just leave it, because you don't need negativity. You only need positivity. But a lot of people can give you some good suggestions, good ideas, good things that you can go back to your GP with, so it might be worth considering. If you have a GP who is not understanding of your illness, you need to change them. You need a doctor who has experience and compassion that patients with fibromyalgia need. You could also ask neighbours, friends and family if they are local, if they know of any good doctors in your area, like if they have had good experiences themselves, or you can ring the different doctors' surgeries that are local to you and ask if there is a doctor that specialises in fibromyalgia, or if they've had a lot of experience with fibromyalgia. They should be able to help you with that one. But my GP is lovely, and she always respects me, and she says, you must know more about this than I do. What do you think? And then she'll suggest some medication or something like that, and then we talk about that. So you need someone that's really good like that, that will, you know, be there for you. Letting people say no. So you need to be able to ask for help when needed, but you also need to be okay if people say no, that they can't do it at the moment, because not everyone's busy in their own lives, aren't they? And they might say, oh, I can't do it now, but I'll do it whenever, you know. And it's that acceptance that you can say no, they can say no, and when you get that and you realise both can say no, your relationship's going to be a lot healthier. If you're in a relationship with your partner and they don't believe that you're ill, or they're not supportive, you can consider counselling. Family therapy or couples counselling can help you and your loved ones adjust to the life-changing illness. So you could again ask your GP about that, about a referral. If you have the finances there, you can go privately, but the counselling might make them see a bit more about what you go through, and, you know, trust that that's what's happening. I am very, very lucky that I have Mark, because, like I say, he is very supportive, and I also have 2 daughters. If you watch my vlogs, you will know Holly and Poppy, and they're very supportive too. So I am lucky, and I've got friends that are supportive. I'll go a bit more into detail about that in a minute. So distraction is one way of coping. Do something you enjoy, watch a film or Netflix series, make something, read, or start a new hobby. Alternatively, you can watch my past fibro sections for tips and advice. I had to get that in there, didn't I? Clanger. Join in when you can. When you're up for it, take an opportunity to go out with friends and family. It might release those happy endorphins and counteract your pain. So there's been so many times that I've had an invite to go out with a friend or family, and I'm like, oh, I really can't go. I'm exhausted, I'm in pain, I don't want to go. And then I go, and everything turns out great, because, you know, like I say, the endorphins are released, and yeah, I might still be in pain, I might still be tired, but that's why I've got my scooter now, so I can use my scooter to go out, or a walking stick, or, you know, I've got several things to help me. And also it's compromising. So if they want to do like a 10-mile hike and you're like, I'm not going to be able to do that, then say, okay, I can't do that, but how about we do this instead? So just compromise, don't just poo-poo it all together, you know. Obviously if you're having a flare-up, you can't, well, you can go out, but you wouldn't want to go out with a flare, I doubt. I have done it, I have been out with a flare-up, and it's not much fun. So that's a bit different, but what I'm saying is just general day-to-day, you know, with the pain and the fatigue. That's when I think sometimes you've got to bite the bullet and just do it. Yeah, like if your friends suggest going shopping and you think, I'm not going to be able to keep up with them. I mean, for myself, like I either use shop mobility scooters or I take my own scooter. But if you haven't got that facility, then just have regular breaks. Say to your friends, look, I'll go around this shop with you, then I'm going to go for a coffee and I'll meet you in there and you can catch up with me there. So you're not doing it, but you're doing it in a way that you can handle, if you see what I mean. Don't push yourself too hard, and make sure whoever you are with understands your limitations, but suggest things you can do instead, like I've just said. I mean, if your friends turn around and say, oh, I'm not waiting for that, you come with us or not at all, they're not friends, are they? At the end of the day, friends should understand and they should be, you know, there for you, and that's what a friend is. If a friend's not going to wait around or they're not going to compromise to help your needs, then they're not a friend. That's my opinion anyway. Fibromyalgia is difficult to describe to friends and family since its symptoms vary in severity from day to day. It's hard to explain to friends that you need to cancel plans. My close friends, I have given them printed sheets explaining about fibromyalgia, not like in massive detail, but just the general aspects of it. It was probably towards the start of being diagnosed. It was just so that they had a level of understanding of what I go through on a daily basis, just so that they're aware that I don't have to keep going over things. One of my good friends, Tanya, she often says, oh, I'm not going to ask how you are because I know, you know, you'll get asked that all the time and it's frustrating. So she understands that, and it's really good. Like, she might sometimes ask how I am, or I might say, oh, it's been really rubbish lately, you know, but it's more like we want to talk about life and other things other than the fibro, you know, because otherwise it sort of swallows up your life, doesn't it? So it's not who you are. You're still the same person inside. It's just that you have this illness that you have to cope with. It'd be the same, you know, if someone had something else wrong with them, and you know, you don't want to keep going over that. You want to talk about everything, everyday life, like, oh, how's work been, or what have you been up to? Been anywhere? Well, we can't say been anywhere nice because we're in lockdown. So yeah, that hasn't been happening. I also did the fact sheet with my family as well. And recently what I do is, you might have noticed if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I do post a lot of my stories. I do pop-ups of little explanations of fibro or little things to do with fibro that I just think, I just pop that in there so that they can read that and think, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know that. A lot of the time my friends say, I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware that that's, you know, that's what you go through. So it's just a little way of not, you know, not every single post, but just every now and then just pop one in, and it just educates. Remember, at the end of the day, nobody is going to understand what you go through except for yourself. You're the only person that truly knows what you go through on a daily basis. You aren't going to be able to get anybody to live that, because that's you. And it's the same with someone else's problems. You can empathise, you can sympathise, but you can't live their problems for them. So I think it's really important to know that where someone might, you know, have that empathy or feel for you, they can't truly understand because they're not you. So it's important to realise that, I think. So like I say, I'm going to link some of those support groups in my description for you. Just be careful is my advice. You can go and read all the information, you can read, you know, you can get carried away with looking at different people's questions and answers. The thing I like to do is, on Facebook I belong to a couple of fibromyalgia group chat things, and they just pop up like a question every now and then, and sometimes I'll answer one of them, other times I'll try and give some help or some suggestions, and other times I'll just read it and scroll on. But it's there, you know. And sometimes there's been ones that pop up that I'm like, yes, I've wanted to know that too, and I look at the answers, you know, or yes, I agree with that. So, and it's nice, you just have that recognised feeling, you know, from somebody else, or recognised symptom that you think, oh, I'm not alone. Like I say, don't forget, you can use these fibro sections, you can use these in the comments to say, has anyone had this, has anyone had that, and people can reply to you and try and help you. So you can do that on YouTube. You can also do that, like I say, on my Facebook post. You can start my Facebook page rather. You can start a post and ask a question and see if anyone can help, or see if I can help. And also, if you'd like me to make any fibro sections on here for you that you can think of, please let me know in the comments below, and I will be happy to add it to my long list of fibro sections that I need to make. I hope this may have helped you in some small way, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. Leave me a nice comment, and I love you all, and I'll see you on Saturday for the weekly. Bye. Mwah.